Welcome back to Become Cybersecurity Expert. My name is Pranav Sabane and today we are going to see an introduction to IT security governance. Nowadays everyone is talking about IT security governance. Everyone wants to do governance. But what is governance? So there is definition of governance. That governance is defined as rules that run an organization. It includes policies, standards, and procedures that are used to set direction and control organizational activities. Okay, so it is definition. But let's take a simple example. Assume your company wants 100% output and 100% outcome. No waste of time. All employees should work for 8 hours without any time waste. So typing user ID and password wastes time. So during a day you log in minimum 4 5 times. So it wastes 1 to 2 minutes. So your senior leadership wants to avoid that time wastage. So for performance they have decided not to set any credentials, means no user ID, no password. Switch on the laptop and start working. So 100% performance will be there. But is it worth? Is it good? Will it be secure? Answer is no. Because anyone can use that laptop and misuse it. Because there is no credential, there is no security. So even though there will be 100% performance, there will be 0% conformance. Performance is required, definitely, but not at the cost of conformance. So someone has highlighted the senior leadership that it cannot be in this way. It will lead to security issues. There will be data breaches. Anyone can misuse our services, misuse our data, misuse our information. So conformance is very much essential. So now your leadership is thinking about conformance. So they have decided to configure it in such a way that after every minute users need to change the password. Password will expire after 1 minute. Generally it is 4 to 8 weeks. Within that time span you need to change your password. But considering the conformance requirement of the organization that no one should misuse your data, information and service, your leadership has decided that. And it has been implemented in that way, that every minute you need to change your password. Now there will be very little probability or no probability that anyone can misuse your credentials. Why? Because by the time the person guesses your user ID and password, goes back to his or her desk, uses it or misuses it, by that time it will be expired. So no question of any conformance issue. But the users will waste the time in changing the password continuously. Every minute they will change the password. And throughout the day they will be changing the password. They will not do anything. And hence they will not get time to do the work. Next morning everyone's password means account will be locked out. Nobody will be able to work. So in this case conformance is definitely there, but there is no performance. Definitely conformance is required, but not at all at the cost of performance. So you have to balance between performance and conformance. Balance is required. So 1 minute is not okay, then 5 minutes, no, 1 hour, no, because by the time people come back from lunch, your account will be locked out. One day, no, when people means employees will come back after weekend, everyone's account will be locked out. So can it be 1 week? If employees go on 1 week leave, they will come back after leave, their account will be locked out. So considering all these things, generally companies have the standard set to change the password within 4 to 8 weeks. Generally it is that. You get reminder that your password will expire after 14 days, 13 days. Every day they will send you reminder. So that is balance between performance and conformance, and that is what governance is. So definition is there written on the top row of this slide. That is definition of it. But for understanding purpose, remember that governance is balance between performance and conformance. Hope you have understood what is governance. So whatever terms are there in the definition of it, policies, standards, procedures. So please watch my videos on those topics. So what is first step in establishing information security governance? It's senior leadership or senior management determining the outcomes it wants from the information security program. So what does your senior leadership expect? They may give single line expectation. Every single byte of data should be protected against unauthorized disclosure and destruction. So it is the outcome what they expect. Leadership means governance drives the organization. We have seen it in the definition. Governance drives the organization, and this is what they expect. So how to achieve that? So you need to have strategy defined for that. So your leadership has informed you. They have set the direction that every single byte of data should be protected. So you need to check whether your system is really secure or not. Assume you have credentials, user ID and password. It is necessary, but it is not sufficient. So why it is not sufficient? Because the user ID and password may get misused. So what can be done? So two-factor authentication, multi-factor authentication. So you may set up OTP after successfully entering credentials. So that is required. OTP or biometric authentication along with your credentials. It is multi-factor authentication. It is necessary, but you do not have. So that is gap. Desired state says multi-factor authentication should be implemented. Current state is it is not there. You are using single factor authentication, not multi-factor authentication. So there is a gap and you need to close the gap. So you need to do that gap analysis, and once you do the gap analysis, it will become the basis for your strategy. So this is your strategy, and this strategy will provide you the basis to implement your effective information security governance. And when you will do gap analysis, regarding all controls, technical as well as non-technical. When you will implement all controls, multi-factor authentication, firewalls, antivirus, IDS, IPS, NIPS, there will be physical security controls, swipe card is there, security guard is protecting the restricted areas. All these controls will be there in place at some point of time. So after implementing all controls, the risk will be drastically reduced. And that mitigated risk, whatever risk remains after implementing all controls, is called as residual risk. And that residual risk will set your security baseline. So that will be basis for your strategies. The strategy will provide you basis to implement effective strategy. And to implement effective strategy, implement effective governance, you need to know what your senior leadership expects. And that should be in line with your organizational objectives. It should meet performance requirements as well as conformance requirements. So governance is balance between performance and conformance. If it is done, then you have done good governance. Hope that you have found this video useful. If so, then please like the video, share the video, and subscribe your own YouTube channel, Cyber Security Expert. Thank you so much for watching this video. Bye bye.